Welcome to this live stream event of Panther Sports. Joe Roberts, Ross Norwood, Richie Ewing, Neil Thornton. All gas, no brakes. Let's get it. Welcome, Panther Nation, to War Memorial Stadium on Friday, October 8th. Yeah, that's right, Ross. Friday, October 8th, 2021. We are here in District 11, 4A. You're watching Liberty Panther Sports Network. I'm Joe Roberts. Alongside me is my longtime commentating partner, Ross Norwood, stat man Neil Thornton, producer Richard Ewing, and we are here to see if the Liberty Panthers can bounce back. 4-2 on the year, 1-1 in district play. Started off strong with what I can only call a beating of Hardin Jefferson. And then following that up with last week, the Silsbee game, which was a little bit of a frustration, Ross.
It was a tough loss for Liberty, a game that they could have won. There were some issues with exchanges that resulted in turnovers, and that ultimately is what got Liberty. Silsbee also had some of those same issues, but they were a little luckier in falling on those balls.
All right, Ross. Our starting lineup for tonight is going to be presented by the Liberty ISD Education Foundation, and away we go.
Visit LibertyEducationFoundation.net and donate today. Tonight's offensive starters are right tackle Juan Sanchez, right guard Zach Davis, center Seth Stearns, left guard Ford Carter, and left tackle Dylan Davis. At the skills positions tonight, tight end Cade Jordan and tight end Gavin Fontenot. In the backfield for the Panthers, halfback Jolin Curtis, fullback Colton Bishop, and halfback Alex Valtierra. And under center tonight, quarterback Caden Nolan. Tonight's defensive starters are, on the defensive line, defensive end Titus Bell, defensive tackle Colby Ewing, defensive end Victor Ruiz, at linebacker, outside linebacker Bo Fowler, inside linebacker William Waldrop, inside linebacker Caleb Chandler, outside linebacker Quentin Johnston, and in the secondary, cornerback Mason Godot, safety Austin Walker, safety Gavin Becker, and cornerback Caden Nolan. The special teams unit for tonight, punter Jaden Shemp, and kicker Brian Montez.
One more time, I want to thank our big sponsor on the year, the Liberty ISD Education Foundation, for that. Been in operation since 2007, and they have done a lot of great work helping out the teachers and students in Liberty. Again, I'm a recipient of one of their grants from a couple of years ago, so I want a big shout out and thank you to them. 11-4A action, War Memorial Stadium here on a nice Friday night. The weather is perfect for football, Ross, and the Liberty Panthers are getting ready to take the field momentarily. Go ahead, Ross.
Quickly want to add to the Liberty ISD Education Foundation, you can visit their website, LibertyEducationFoundation.net, hit the donate button, and take a part in their work today.
Also want to thank our scoreboard sponsor, Miss Emily Cook, attorney at law. Thank you for that. Again, without the love and support of our generous benefactors, it'd be really hard for us to put a great product on the camera and on this live stream. Watching Liberty Panther Sports Network. Again, I'm Joe Roberts, Ross Norwood, Neil Thornton, and producer Richie Ewing. And now we're getting the school song from Liberty. Again, momentarily, the Panthers and the Orangefield Bobcats getting set to run onto the field. Orangefield idle last week, but the week before that, they kind of, I'm not going to call it an upset, but they definitely beat a Silsbee Tiger team that they, I'm not going to say, Silsbee kind of ran people off the field last year, and we can call it a bit of an upset, right, Ross?
Yes, Silsbee went into halftime up 14-0, and they ended up losing that game. And just a little bit of an overview of what to see from Orangefield on the offensive side. That I think this game in whole is going to be played more in a phone booth, is one of the assistant coaches told me this afternoon. And it's going to be won or lost on the line. And the Panthers are going to really be working on not getting knocked back. One of the big pluses for the Panthers is center Seth Stearns is back.
Yeah, that's going to be a big help to the offensive line. That's going to move Cord Carter. Going to move Cord Carter to left guard, and then we're going to get to see some different looks offensively. Neil, you are wont to say a lot about those Service Academy offenses, and we're about to see two of them tonight.
That's pretty much. I was watching Orangefield warm up. They looked a whole lot like Liberty's formations. I saw the plays that they were running, straight up triple options, fullback centered, fullback heavy offense. That kind of offense, you have to have a good fullback to draw the attention to the center of the line. Last week we ran up against the best pitching and catching duo I think we're going to see all season. The quarterback was a young man's name last week. There was a quarterback, Mason Brisbane.
That's right, throwing to Draylon Miller.
Yeah, he was 8 for 20 completing with 1 interception, but the 3 that he threw, 3 strikes that he threw, that was their 3 scores. Draylon Miller, their receiver, 162 yards on 3 catches and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, that'll get you in the record books right there.
Right quick. Exactly. That'll get somebody's attention for him to play on Saturday too. But just like Ross was talking about, the turnovers is what killed us last week. We'd get the ball back, we'd turn it over, and the defense had to go right straight back out on the field with no rest. And by the fourth quarter, that got to be pretty tiring. You could tell that those boys they had all they could handle. I think maybe we changed the offensive starting lineup a little bit this week, give those guys a little bit more rest on the sideline. I was talking to somebody from Orangefield last weekend, and they said, just like you said, that and his word was a fluke. He said that their victory over Silsbee was a fluke. So I expect this ball game to be pretty tight, and like you said, it's going to be played in the box. It's going to be in the center of the field, and the offensive line will determine. Defensive line play is going to determine who wins this ball game.
Fluke or not, Orangefield Bobcats very dangerous and currently undefeated in district play, albeit with just 1 win, but still their 1 win pretty amazing, Ross.
Yes, the key to the Orangefield offense, Neil said something about it a minute ago, it is going to revolve around their fullback. And if he has a good game, then offensively they're going to have a good game. The defense, they need to watch for fakes because they will run a lot of fakes to that fullback to try to open stuff up on the outside, and that's where those triple options come in.
Yeah.
All right, just about 4.5 minutes before the kickoff is supposed to happen. Orangefield Bobcats warming up in the north end of the end zone prior to going through their giant Bobcat tunnel. Liberty Panthers coming out of the locker room and now getting ready to make their way into the Big Cat tunnel. Got a whole bunch of prancers down on the field. Got the cheerleaders, got the band. Tonight is Pink Out, and everyone wearing pink in support of breast cancer awareness, in addition to, I guess, any other cancer awareness that you could think of, but specifically that first one. Good crowd tonight. Parking lot is pretty darn full and only getting more full as we speak. Last night at the middle school football games, you could not find a seat at Memorial Stadium, and the line to get in looked like it stretched from the gate all the way to the cemetery, Ross.
The longest I was told it got was to the edge of the parking lot.
Yeah, they were close to stepping onto the street over there.
Grand Avenue,
right onto Grand Avenue. Okay, we're getting ready to do our keys of the game. Neil, what is your key for the Panthers tonight?
Got the #1 defense in the league so far. I think if we have a good defensive game like we had before, and we can rest that defense with some good old-fashioned traditional Liberty long drives, let those defensive players catch their breath a little bit, where they can keep the Orangefield Bobcats stymied in the center of the field, I think we'll be able to score enough points to beat them.
All right, Ross, keys to the game for you.
Keys to the game for me, we're going to see Liberty having to dominate the offensive line. They should be aided in that by the return of center Seth Stearns.
And moving that young man, moving the fellow, who was it that was center, was picked up center for a couple of weeks while Seth was out?
Cord Carter was playing center.
Right, exactly. You move him back out into his normal position, and your offensive line becomes a whole lot more formidable than it's been.
All right, Neil, Ross, Mr. Roberts himself going to be doing a little Texas two-step upstairs. Going to be running a camera back and forth, so I'm just about ready to sign it over to you, Ross. And if there's any camera problems, you can go ahead and lay that squarely on my shoulders. All right. Oh, there we go. The new setup now with the offensive line. Hopefully going to solve some of those center QB exchange problems. Before Seth Stearns went out, they were, I'm not going to say firing on all cylinders, but they looked a whole bunch better. And that's no knock against the replacement. When you don't do something all the time, it's hard.
Well, of all the positions on that offensive line, the center is very difficult. They have quite a few responsibilities, and they almost have to be moving as they snap that ball to get to their blocking assignment. And when you're not used to doing that, it can cause some issues. And you see snaps that are harder than what they are normally, and that causes that exchange issue. That should be corrected tonight.
All right, just getting ready for the prayer. Going to have the national anthem, and then away we go. So I'm going to sign off until halftime and turn it over to you, Mr. Norwood.
Thank you, and we'll see you on the camera and probably give you some rough. We're going to go to the prayer right now.
If you remain standing for our national anthem.
National anthem just wrapping up at Memorial Stadium in Liberty as the Liberty Panthers and Orangefield Bobcats are going to square away. Liberty with a 1-1 district record. Orangefield with a 1-0 district record, being off last week. This is an important matchup, Neil, because it has a lot of playoff implications.
Very, very much. With 4 teams out of each district going to the playoffs, this could be for a playoff berth. It actually could. Captains going out on the field on the Liberty side, you got Mason Goodo, William Waldrop, Titus Bell, and Austin Walker. If you can see that, I can't read but one number on the other side. That's 40 from Orangefield.
Cameron Dishler.
Okay, I can't read those other numbers. But they've got 4 captains. I'm sure they're probably doing 2 and 2 as well as we are. Let's see who wins the toss here. Orangefield wins the toss. And they're deferring, so Liberty will take the ball off him.
Looks like Orangefield wins the toss and they defer.
They'll receive and head north.
At Memorial Stadium, unlike a lot of stadiums, they move north to south or south to north, depending on where you are in the ball game. A lot of stadiums are east-west.
One last week was east-west. When you have high stands or something on top of the stands like this, then it doesn't make a difference in a night game. But in the sub-varsity games when they're playing play in the afternoon, the sun can be a factor. The sun in the west can be a factor. Those east-west fields, sometimes you have a disadvantage.
Liberty will receive the kickoff as they break their huddle on the sideline, and the two return men, Jolin Curtis and Alex Valtierra.
I was watching their place kicker, and of course he'll probably kick it through the goalpost after I say this, but their place kicker didn't look like he had over about probably 40 for a length. So, you know, about the 20, maybe just inside the 20 would be probably deep enough for our deep backs. And they don't look like they're going to go back there that deep. Maybe they're expecting onside.
They are playing in.
Close.
Jolin Curtis inside
Our 40. There they go.
Now they're going to break up a little bit, go back to their position. Ty Butler will be doing the kicking for Orangefield. The kick is away.
Right about the 20.
Gets to the 20. Alex Valtierra picks it up, runs into one of his blockers, gets across to the 30 before being hammered down, and that is where Liberty will start their first possession. Caden Nolan gets the start at quarterback. It was a two-quarterback game last week between Caden Nolan and Austin Walker, as they were doing everything they could to keep Silsbee off balance.
And I think also being able, you know, people haven't played both ways. They're trying to rest those position players as much as they can. You take a lot of reps at quarterback. You don't want to go out there and play safety. You're out of gas.
In the double wing, Seth Stearns gets the ball to Jolin Curtis.
And they're pushing that pile.
And a scrum has developed, and he is going to pick up probably about 5 yards. Looks like they're going to put him down at the 35.
Okay, that opens things up. If you can get 5 on first down with like you're talking about, we're calling it, and for lack of a better term, I guess, we're calling it the Service Academy offense. When you get 5 on the first down, it really opens second up.
Yeah, double wing for Liberty, the slot T for Orangefield. Second down and 5 to go for the Panthers. Bishop is the fullback in. This ball's pitched out to Valtierra to the near side, who cuts around the corner, crosses the 45, and he is going to be taken down.
Number 22, Alex Valtierra.
At about the 30, what is that, 38?
About 38, I think.
Third down and 4 now for the Panthers. Just underway, 10:41 left in the first quarter as the Panther band is playing. The cheerleaders are dancing. The pink and white smoke has finally lifted, as you saw coming in as the Panthers ran in. Pitch to Jolin Curtis, who tries to go to the outside and is tripped up.
Lost one.
Losing one. He was tripped up by Bo Elkins. Elkins, a junior for Orangefield.
Lost 2, actually.
And that will bring the punt team on, and Jaden Shemp. Shemp emerging as a punter, did not start the year on the team.
I don't think he's ever played football.
He had never played football. He played baseball, but not football. And some friends encouraged him to come out and try out. High kick, angling towards the near sideline, and bounces out of bounds at the
30.
Orangefield 30-yard line.
So we just changed 30s with it, is what it amounted to.
So Liberty, first offensive possession, a 3 and out. Orangefield's going to come out. They run the slot T.
You're going to have to help me some numbers of running backs.
They have their white uniforms on with metallic orange numbers and metallic orange helmets. Ball is going to be pitched back.
Number 40.
as he is open, and he is making his way down the field at the 30, the 25, 20, 10. Touchdown.
First play from scrimmage, number 40.
And that is their fullback, Cameron Dishler. He is a junior. And one play, Orangefield takes the lead, 6-0, pending the extra point. Ty Butler on to kick the extra point. Butler, the freshman kicker. Braden Parker holding for Orangefield. Kick is up, and it will be good, and it is 7-0. Orangefield, 9:15 left in the first quarter.
Okay, they got to get the ball back and do something with it on this possession.
You can hear the Orangefield band. They're pumped up, playing the school fight song after. What happened on that play, Neil?
One play, 70 yards, goes off tackle, or I guess actually right outside the tight end, broke into a hole. The wing back had taken the linebacker out. He just ran between the linebacker and the cornerback, and off they went to the races, 70 yards.
Liberty getting back out to receive a kick again. They started the game with the kick, receiving the kick, excuse me. Butler is trying to find a good spot to put the tee down. The middle of the field is chewed up pretty good. Ball is kicked from the 40. Valtierra on the far side. Jolin Curtis on the near side, the two deep men. Kick is off. Good kick inside the 20, fielded by Valtierra, who comes up the middle of the field, crosses the 35 before being pulled down at the 39-yard line. And that is where the Panthers will set up shop. A 3-and-out. They had a big pickup, Neil, on that first drive. 5-yard, I say big, but 5-yard pickup on first down. Looked very promising.
Yeah, enough to control the line, enough to control get your offense rolling and leave some options open for you for a second down. I hope they're not scripting their plays. Start playing to some weakness here instead of just going through a script.
Stern snaps it to Nolan and hands it off to Titus Bell, who goes towards the far side, and he is going to pick up a nice first down pickup. About, what is that, 5 or 6 yards?
That's about 6, I think, yeah.
They're going to give him 6 yards on that, a nice pickup on first down.
Yeah, it is.
Robert Ward, Liberty ISD Transportation Director, down on the field taking his great photographs as Goodo gets this ball. Tries to work off a couple of tackles, but can't quite get outside. But he does pick up a yard or two.
I think they gave him a yard. Yeah, they did. They had the 46.
Number 9, Mason Goodo on the carry.
Looks like we're going to have the whole graduating senior class carrying the football again tonight. I've already got 7 numbers down here.
Titus Bell in the backfield as the fullback behind Nolan. Ball is handed off up the middle to Titus Bell, who is going to barrel forward close to a first down.
They gave him 48, so they gave him 2. He's still got 1 to go.
So a big 4th down and 2 with the Panthers looking to push it across the 50-yard line. They need the 49 for a first down. Bell going to get this one again. He gets this one, breaks free of a couple of tackles, crosses the 50, and down to the 48-yard line of Orangefield. 7:14 left.
4 yards for the first down. Looks like they may have found a fullback to take care of that middle for them. Hope so.
Coach Taylor started the year with Titus at fullback, but he's such a good defensive end. They were trying to get him, and they are trying to get him some rest. We've seen Colby Ewing in that position. No, drops back, and he is going to be taken down at the Panther 45-yard line. I'm having trouble with names, Neil.
That was Caden Nolan, and the protection just folded up. I don't know where it was, what they were supposed to be doing over there, but it completely folded up. Half of the left-hand side of Orangefield's defense was in the backfield as quick as Caden turned around.
He had rolled out to his right on a play that has been fairly successful for the Panthers this year. After the loss, the ball is pitched back to Mason Godot, who tries to get the corner, and he is going to lose some yardage there. Early in this one, the Orangefield defensive line has been pretty impressive. On tape, they don't look as athletic as Silsby's defensive line, but they are big.
So 3rd and forever. Looks like 20. What do they got on the scoreboard?
They've got 3rd and 10.
Well
drops back, fires this ball deep down the field as it lands incomplete inside the 20-yard line of Orangefield. And that will do it. They picked up a first down on that drive as Shemp comes out to punt for the second time. He's standing on his 30-yard line on the near hash mark. Jackson Humplick, low snap, is the return man. It's going to fall short of the return man at the 30, but take a Panther bounce inside the 30 to the 27-yard line. And with 4:59, Orangefield gets their second shot on offense. Their first one didn't last very long, but it did result in 7 points.
Let's see if they can solve that problem here right quick.
What do you tell the defense after that?
Well,
score?
somebody missed an assignment, and I'm sure Coach Stewart and the rest of the defensive staff, they got the eyes on it. You know, they're watching their defense, not watching the ball like we are. They're watching their defense, and I'm sure they know where the blown assignment was, and they sent that boy a message, I'm sure.
Orangefield going to send
Way
two
out.
wide receivers to the near side as this ball is handed off to Lane Gibson.
Picks up, I think he picked up about 2. What's his number?
He is 23.
23, okay.
That was a look that we were not expecting, to send 2 guys out wide.
Trying to spread the linebackers out a little, I think.
Also talked before the game about some misdirections that they try to give.
Let's see what we're doing here. Timeout Liberty, I think.
It's going to be a timeout Orangefield.
Is it?
Timeout Orangefield with 4:15 left in the first quarter and a 7-0 lead. We'll be back after this. We won't be back after this. Our producer waved it off, so.
Well, taking advantage of the timeout, Coach Stewart's out there on the field doing a little teaching. I remember Coach Stewart when he was in the classroom at the middle school years ago, and he's a good classroom teacher, so I'm sure he's getting his point across out there. Those kids will play above their head for Dennis Stewart for some reason. I don't know why. But it's always been that way. When he was junior high coach, when he was the head coach here, They always play above their head for them.
He was the athletic director for my last 3 years in high school.
Yep. Let's see what they're going to go back out with those splits again. They may be trying to get Caden out of the play. Now they're going in tight.
Ball handed off to the fullback,
That looks
and
good.
he is going to be dropped after picking up a yard or two. I thought he had
Put it on
gone
the
back,
30, yeah.
but the down box moved up.
Got him one, but that's it.
Good defensive play by William Alsher.
They need 8 yards for a first down. Big third down play for Liberty to get this defense off the field and the ball back in the hands of the Liberty offense.
Trade punts with them. Maybe their punter's not as good as ours. Look at that. That's great. That is great. Bad field conditions didn't hurt anything there, but that was number 32. I don't know who he is. His feet he stumbled a little bit, and linebacker met him right there. No gain.
Hunter Ashworth, pretty big back.
Yeah, he is.
So we get to see the punter for the first time for Orangefield. Austin Walker and Mason Godot are deep. They stand at their own 45-yard line. Snap is dropped, and a high kick, and it is going to land before the 40-yard line and drop dead at the 41-yard line of Orangefield.
11-yard punt, basically.
Liberty, great field position to start this drive. What do you expect to see, Neil, in this drive, their third offensive drive?
Looks like they're finding time to spell for the center or for the middle of the line. I wouldn't be surprised if he got the ball at least first or second down to try to keep those the box tight. You know what I don't know how to explain this. I don't know anything about football.
Out of the shotgun, handed off to Jolin Curtis, who cuts to the outside, gets around the corner, and he is going to have a nice pickup on first down.
About 7. Let's see where they marked that. I thought they got a little further. Yeah, that lineman on the other side that was got it about 7 yards out. I think he got 7 yards on there.
We'll see where they spot that. They are going to spot
34.
that at the 34-yard line of Orangefield.
And that's good.
Again, out of the shotgun is Nolan. Curtis behind him. Ball's handed off to Curtis, who goes off the tackle, and he is going to skip over the 30-yard line down to the 28-yard line, and that's good enough for a Liberty Panther first down.
His feet are so quick, and Coach Roberts and I were talking about that a while ago. He just has the instincts to follow his blockers and to protect the football. You watch him when he breaks around the outside, he immediately switches the ball to the outside hand. You can't teach that. That's just instinct when he does that. He wants to have his inside hand open to stiff arm, put the ball on the sidelines. That's just good instincts.
From the near side, Nolan out of the shotgun takes his snap again. A handoff to Jolin Curtis, who comes to the near side. Comes across that 25-yard line, going to be taken down at the 21.
Another 7 yards.
Joe Curtis on carry.
That is the Liberty offense we have become accustomed to seeing.
I think they look like they're doing that. I think they're feeling a little more comfortable out of the shotgun than they were with Caden under center. And of course, that's got a lot to do, like you're talking about, that's got a lot to do with their starting senior center being back. Feel a little bit more confident about that deep snap.
On second down, it's handed to Curtis,
Again,
who cuts up the middle.
got it down to about the 17.
And that'll be
Joe Curtis takes up the
good enough for a Liberty Panther first down.
takes up the
Clock is stopped momentarily as the chains move. A minute left in the first quarter. Orangefield jumping out to a 7-0 lead.
17-yard line.
But the Panthers are deep in Orangefield territory right now
Yes, they are.
and have really shown a different
just a different tempo. I think they got their blocking assignments down a little better right now. This is 5 straight carries for Jolin Curtis.
And he comes around the corner, crosses the 15-yard line, going to be taken down at the 14.
Brought down by Lane Evans for the Bobcats. Ball's placed at
With the play clock at 25 and the game clock at 20.
That's already 7 carries for Jolin and 4 of them, let's see. No, 5 of them in a row. 5 touches in a row.
That will be
let
the
that run.
last play of the first quarter for Liberty, as the clock is going to wind down on the first quarter. Liberty started getting it in the into the first quarter,
That is the end of the first quarter.
but they are looking forward to that second quarter.
Just remember, tonight,
And a long Liberty
high
drive.
school seniors will be selling split spot tickets. Please look for a student wearing a class of 2022 t-shirt, wearing an apron to purchase your winning ticket. The tickets will be sold until halftime, and a winner will be announced in the beginning of the third quarter.
So they will switch sides,
Purchase a ticket.
and the Panthers' target now is the south end zone.
I can't really tell. I don't want to complain, but the field's in pretty bad shape because of all the games that have been played on it. And in the last couple of weeks, of course, this week it's dried up a good bit, but last week it had rained by Friday afternoon. Last week, or a week before last, we played on it. It had rained 4.5 inches in about 3 days. So it's with all of the sub-varsity games being played on, something played on here every Thursday, Friday night. And it's beginning to be a little bit worn, especially in the middle. Between somewhere around the north 40, the footing is not that great for either team. Of course, like they say, both teams play on the field, so it's just bad for everybody.
2 games yesterday, the 7th and 8th grade teams
Right.
for their coronation game. 7th grade won, and the 8th grade just lost a really tight game. The first play of the second quarter, it's a handoff to Curtis.
Down to about 11, I think so.
They will
That's
give him the 11-yard line and it'll
6
bring up a
straight carries for Jolin Curtis.
Joel Curtis on the carry. Brought down by Babineau.
3rd down and 5.
He's going to bring up 3rd down and 5.
He's at the 14-yard line.
No, 12-yard.
Oh,
That's a
12-yard
12-yard
line.
line.
I made the mistake, the rookie mistake of looking at the scoreboard and not the field. They need 5 for the first down. Inside pitch to Valtierra, who tears up the middle. And he is going to be brought down at the 5-yard line, but there's a flag at about the 14-yard line.
Here, there's a flag on the play.
They are asking Liberty what they want to do, and it appears that it is going to be offsides against Orangefield, so they will decline that and take the first down. They drop the sticks,
Offsides on the
and the ball will be at the Orangefield 5-yard line.
7-yard pickup on that rather than 5 yards that they would have gotten on the offsides court. And a first down, as you say.
They're going to spot this ball at the 4-yard line.
Look at that.
On the first down play, Nolan looks to pitch to Curtis, but he takes
No,
the
he
ball
took it
himself
Yep.
and goes up the middle for a touchdown. And Liberty within 1 point, pending the extra point of tying this ball game. That was one thing Coach Taylor talked about, introducing a few more of that option.
Well, it worked well.
Brian Montez sends this kick high and through the uprights. And just like that, it is 7-7 with 10:51 in the second quarter.
Yeah, I think the offensive line, getting the offensive line back in its normal configuration like it was in the first year has done a lot of good. That drive was 8 plays, 42 yards, and Caden Nolan goes in from 5 yards out. PAT was good. 10:51 of the second quarter. Ball game's tied 7-7.
Those are Liberty Panther drive. That's a Liberty Panther drive.
Yeah, that's just patented. They've been doing that for years.
Liberty's kick team comes out. Brian Montez does the place kicking and kickoffs.
And he does it well.
He does it very well. Orangefield sending out their return team.
When he was warming up, they better get deeper than that.
Cameron Dishler on the far side and Evan Spears on the near side. They stand at their 5-yard line. Montez gets this kickoff, angles towards the near side. Fielded at the 10 by Evans, who crosses the field over the 20, now over the 30, and he will be knocked out of bounds at the Orangefield 40-yard line.
They're putting it right on the 40. If it was his 30-yard return.
We'll see the exact spot.
I think it's going to be right on the 40.
It is on the 40-yard line. So a very nice return by Evan Spears, the senior for Orangefield. Liberty forced Orangefield to punt on their last possession.
See if we can do that again. Got some of his defensive assignments solved. Colby Ewan back there in the middle, well in the flex.
Handoff up the middle to the fullback who hurdles a Panther, and he is across the 30, 20, and he is drugged down by Mason Goodo inside the 20-yard line. A huge pickup, no flags.
43 yards on that pickup, the first down.
Cameron Dishler, the fullback, again. Want to say hi to Dennis Mudd, who's watching tonight from Barbers Hill. Thank you all for watching. Handed off again to Dishler. This time he will pick up a few yards. Well, no, they're going to give him about 6.
Spotting it on the 12 or the 11? 12. 5 anyway, yeah. Got 5 out of it.
That's it. Okay, the down box had moved a little too far, and I couldn't figure out why. It'll bring up a second down and about 4. Quickly to the line. Hand it off.
30-something.
See that number here. Nevertheless, a very good pickup. Bring up a short.
I think that's 32.
Third down.
Number 32. Right to the 8. 4-yard pickup.
Hunter Ashworth, also a fullback. Quarterback keeper up the middle to pick up the first down. And he will get it. And it'll be first down and goal.
From the 6. Get down to the 6.
That ball is going to be at the 6-yard line. The Liberty 6-yard line as the down markers fall. 2 wide receivers on the far side for Orangefield. Deep pitch back. And a touchdown.
Quarterback keeper.
No, it was pitched back.
Was it pitched?
It was pitched to
40.
Dishler.
That 40 looks like 10 from this distance. So.
As he went
6-yard pickup
into the corner of the far end zone.
They're going to have to solve that young man. That's 5 carries and 125 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Coming into this game, he was or is their biggest weapon on offense. Waiting on the snap. It's down. The kick is up, and it is good as it just slices through the left upright. And it's 14-7 Bobcats over Panthers. And so far tonight, when they've had 2 drives that have resulted in scoring, and they've been fairly quick.
Yeah, 1 play from scrimmage on the first one, 5 plays on that one. So you're exactly right. If the offenses, Liberty seems to have the wheels under them a little bit here now. If they can keep their offense rolling, this could end up being a Donnybrook before it's over with.
And it's interesting because these 2 styles of offense aren't really made for that.
No.
They're ball control offenses. But so far tonight, it's looking like we may have a shootout.
Somebody's going to have to break serve here.
Our producer said a football game.
Let's see. How much time? 8:15.
8:15. Alex Valtierra, the near side deep man. Kick is up, and it's headed towards the middle of the field. Valtierra tries to field it. Not sure if he touched it. And he will get down on it, but it's going to be inside.
At the 5 yard.
They're going to give him the 5. It looked like he was down at the 4.
That was Jolin Curtis.
And Jolin Curtis getting on that ball. And it must have tipped Valtierra.
Must have. He tried to catch it on the short hop, which is not a good idea, even with a round ball. And one of them shaped like that sure doesn't work very often. A 95-yard drive would be nice here, but sure, I don't know, 8:14, yeah, they could do it because they've still got all their timeouts. If they could get the offense rolling, they could roll off 95 yards in 8 minutes.
No huddle.
No, the reason there was no huddle is because they had to call a timeout. They didn't get out there in time. They had started the clock without the Panthers knowing about it.
So with 8:14.
So now we're down to 2 timeouts left in the half.
But with 8:14, still plenty of time to go 95 yards.
Couple of big plays, couple of 25-yard breakaways or something, and they're certainly capable of doing that.
Well, when you have weapons like
Jolin Curtis
and Mason Godot and Titus Bell, Alex Valtierra. We've seen Gavin Fontenot with some receptions. Austin Walker can pick up big chunks of yards at a time.
He can catch the ball. We got splits on both sides.
Out of the shotgun with a back to his left, handed off to Curtis, who tries to cut up the middle. And he will pick up a few yards as he moves this ball up to the 7-yard line. Second down and 9.
I've got 8, but I'm a homer. So.
Getting out of the shotgun, Curtis at the left side of Nolan. Ball is handed off to Curtis, and he is quickly swallowed up for a loss.
They're just not getting the fire, taking up the slack. Orangefield defensive line is taking up that neutral zone.
Third down and 10.
So that was a fumble from what the field announcer said. That ball did fumble, did hit the ground, so that was a fumble, but Liberty managed to recover it. Let's see, they're going to have to hurry here. Down to 5 seconds. Let's get a snap. Let's get a snap. That's too late.
And we are going to have
Delay.
a timeout
timeout.
for Liberty. And they will take their second charged timeout and their second of this drive.
Second within about 5 yards of each other, too.
3rd down and 10. You might think of a pass here, Neil, but why don't you do that in this position?
It's too close to the goal line. An interception is almost a guaranteed score by the other team. You don't want to out 2 touchdowns on you at halftime. You know what? I know you like your comments. 3 things can happen when you throw into them wrong. And,
Take this opportunity to thank some more sponsors.
Liberty has never had a short passing game. I understand why they take
Smart materials.
Quarterbacks are not tall. It takes a tall quarterback to be able to see down the middle of the field and throw the ball deep, and a lot of protection and a lot of time. But they've got enough protection to get off some short passes. But we've never thrown short. When we throw, we always throw deep. Double splits on the left-hand side this time. A little different look.
Nolan standing on the goal line. Gets this, drops back. He is going to pass down the near side, and he is incomplete. Mason Godot was the intended receiver. Coverage by Tyler Sharon.
He had a man underneath here that was more. I don't know how open he was, but he was more open than this. He was throwing in double coverage here. He threw to Mason in double coverage.
Shemp on to punt. He's standing deep in his own end zone. Orangefield sends a return man back. Good snap. High
Nice
kick out of that end zone. It will land at the 30, take a Panther bounce to the 35 before being killed. In Orangefield, prime field position.
Only about 2 yards worth of roll on that. I think the soft field had something to do with that.
But a very nice snap.
Yeah.
And good kick under pressure of kicking out of that end zone. Humplick was the deep man, but it did not get to him.
A couple other local scores. Deweyville High School 24, Old Gazetta 8.
1st down and 10 from the
Need a turnover.
Liberty 35-yard line.
Need a turnover.
This is a pitch back as the ball carrier gets hammered after picking up 3 yards. Tyler Sharon.
They gave him not quite 2. We're going to call that 2, I guess.
Good event stop by Colby Ewing for Panthers. Looks like a pickup of possibly 1.
Colby Ewing with the stop for the Panthers. That's a name that's been called quite often in this season.
It's called a lot.
Handoff to the fullback who gets
Dishler?
swallowed up. That was not Dishler. That was the other fullback, Hunter Ashworth.
32.
Hunter Ashworth on the carry.
He got to call it 1, but that's a that's a short 1.
Carry brings up 3rd down.
Well, the field announcer said no gain, so I'll give him no gain.
As Orangefield gets to the line on a 3rd down and about 9.
Okay.
Quarterback drops back, throws short to his receiver, who catches it and is going to spin forward, and he's going to be close to a 1st down, but he's not going to be there. That was Gavin Perry-Kochi.
So 20.
It's going to be a 4th and 2 for the Bobcats.
Had a lot of time there, but they may have done something to help that offensive line. Not in a hurry, Orangefield, with 4:33 left. They've got a 4th down and 2, and we're going to get an Orangefield timeout, their first of the half.
No, that's their second.
Timeout,
Remember, they call one, and the second possession, they call one.
That's correct. I missed that one. Good catch, Neil.
I'd like to thank some more of our sponsors, Trico, Liberty.
So a fourth down and about 2 yards, Neil. What do you expect them to run out of this?
I give it to my fullback. Give it to my fullback inside tight. Let him go in. If he doesn't make it, the clock's running. You know, it's just going to be turned off long enough to switch possessions and crank the clock right back up. Put Liberty in a hurry if you get the ball back. If they don't get the ball back, you got first down at the 25. So.
Please look for a student with a class of 2022 T-shirt wearing an apron to purchase your winning ticket.
Talking about Orangefield ball carriers, have both of their ball carriers been a fullback?
Dishler's a fullback, 32. Number 32, I don't have his name. He's a fullback.
Ashworth, Hunter Ashworth.
14 is not a fullback, but he's touched the ball once here.
And he just had that reception.
Mm-hmm.
Orangefield breaks the huddle, gets to the line. Fourth down. They try to draw him off. It is going to be handed off to Ashworth, who goes off the right tackle. And that's going to be good enough for a first down.
I could be running their offense, sound like.
They like that off-tackle play.
Yeah.
And I don't know what their terminology for it is, but that's the basis of that play.
Just a fullback slant.
Clock continues to run. It's under 4 minutes. Orangefield is going to send a wide out on the near side. Ball is going to be handed off to their fullback,
number 40.
Dishler, who is going to make it into the end zone.
This is getting tedious.
He had gotten popped a couple of times, but they couldn't quite get him down. He's a big, strong fullback.
And he's got some speed for a fullback, too. We've noticed that on a couple of breakaway plays he's had.
20-7, 3:41 left in the first half. As Orangefield looks to make this a 21-7 lead. Butler on to kick the extra point. High snap, it's put down in place. The kick is up, and it is over the crossbars. Good. And it is 21-7 Liberty. Liberty lost the toss. Orangefield deferred the kickoff, so Orangefield will receive the second half kickoff.
I'd like to remind everyone the Liberty Panthers 2021 athletic programs will be available for sale at the layer during the home game tonight at Memorial Stadium. I'd like to thank all the
Joe Slack talking to his
for the students.
special teams unit.
Be sure to pick up your copy tonight. The price per program is $5.
The usual suspects will be the deep men. Valtierra on the left side. Jolin Curtis on the right side. Well, I guess it's actually the reverse.
Valtier's on our side.
Kickoff. Angles towards Valtierra, who fields it cleanly. Takes off. Loses his footing across the 30-yard line and goes down.
That's the field conditions right there.
And that is about where the muddy mess.
It's just about where the hog rooting looks like.
I was about to say it. It does resemble.
It does. It really does. Ball on the 34-yard line.
At the 34-yard line, it's going to be first and 10 Liberty.
Liberty put a touchdown on. But they are now down 2 touchdowns. Out of the shotgun is Nolan. Curtis, the lone back behind him, gets the handoff. Steps over a couple of down defensive linemen.
Brings it out to the 38.
And gets it up to the 38-yard line. Under 3 minutes and 20 seconds left in the first half. We'll talk to Coach Chad Taylor at halftime. Neil will give us his stats breakdown. Another handoff to Curtis. who crosses the 40 and gets up to the, let's say, the 44-yard line.
Let's see. I think 43.
43. They are going
Still 5 yards.
They are going to give him a first down.
But well, it had to be 6 then that he gained.
Under 3 minutes in the half. Another handoff to Curtis. He gets some contact behind the line, keeps moving forward. And depending on where they give him forward progress, it looks like he is going to pick up a yard. Well, they're going to give him about 3 yards here. Of course, now the ball at the 45-yard line, so I guess that's 2 yards. I'm having some trouble today, Neil.
Well, no, it's not you. We'd have to depend on this linesman over here, and he's kind of wandering around.
Curtis gets this ball, heads to the far side, misses a couple of tackles, crosses the 50-yard line before being pulled down at the 49-yard line. Be a third down, and I would say probably about 3, Neil.
Yeah.
And we are going to have an Orangefield timeout. That is their final timeout of the half with 1:54 left. Orangefield leads Liberty 21-7.
They did us a great favor right there. They did us a great favor. Calling that timeout.
Want to give their defense a little bit of a breather here, Neil, because they have been gashed a little bit.
I'm not watching their numbers too much, but do they have a bunch of boys playing both ways too? I haven't noticed.
I really have not noticed, Neil. But
I have
just
noticed
by
their skill players doing it.
Looking at their board, it's very similar in numbers to ours.
And looking at their classifications, they didn't. I think I saw 2 sophomores on the team.
And there's a couple of freshmen, but it's a heavy junior senior
heavy team.
Valtierra, one of the wing backs. Curtis behind Nolan out of the shotgun. Inside pitch to Valtierra, and he is hit immediately.
Yeah, there's no gain on that.
And it looks like he's going to lose a yard. As that ball comes back to the Orangefield 49-yard line. Under 1:32 left. Nolan trying to communicate what play he needs, and Liberty will use their final timeout.
Well,
on a big 4th down here. Ball in Orangefield territory, but about as close to not being in Orangefield territory as it can be.
And it's in the middle of the, well, it's not in the worst part of the field, but it is in an injured part of the field. So sideline to sideline plays, misdirection type things are going to be kind of hard to keep your feet under you here.
See Ross Ward, former,
walking up and down with the camera.
He's got a camera standing at about the 18-yard line, helping his dad. Ross, a former Liberty High School football player and broadcaster. As a matter of fact, he preceded me.
Played college ball at ACC.
Yeah, getting a good shot of the mud that they are playing in right now. Nolan hands this ball off to Curtis, and he is going to be stopped. And that will be a turnover on downs, and he will lose a yard. And Orangefield, with 1:24 and no timeouts left, will start their drive at the 50-yard line. A really good shot of that, the muddy field conditions in the center of the field. Neil, you said it looked a lot like it's been visited by some hogs.
Yeah, they're known to roam around here, but they're not, I think we got enough fencing that they're not in. I have worked in the school district one time before that we had a hog problem, actually.
This ball, misdirection, is handed off.
The number 12.
Yes, that's Gavin Perry-Kochi. Caden Nolan stopped him there. Hat tip to our producer, Richard MacGyver. Ewing quickly snaps the ball. This ball pitched deep back to Dishler. Dishler gets across the 35 and the 30-yard line. Was going to try to cut back into the middle of the field, but couldn't quite get it. But he has a nice pickup. It's a first down, and that ball will be at the Liberty 26-yard line. The clock moving.
He just picks up big chunks of yards. Just big chunks at a time.
They send a wide out. Another pitch back to the fullback, and Dishler is stopped.
No gain this time? Or
He's going to pick up 2 yards. Well, they're going to give him 1 yard. He's at the 25 now. Was at the 26. Drops back is the quarterback, rolls over towards the Orangefield sideline, and in and out of the hands of Caden Nolan. Nolan almost coming away with that pick.
if he had, it was goodbye Charlie, because there was nothing but green grass, well, tore up grass.
As he jumped in front of the receiver. Braden Parker, the quarterback there, looking to hook up with his receiver, and Caden Nolan had other thoughts. 14 seconds now. Orangefield has no timeouts. This ball is going to be handed off to the other fullback, Hunter Ashworth, and he is going to pick up enough for a first down. It will momentarily stop the clock. Ball is going to be at the 15-yard line. The clock is winding. This should be the last play, and we are going to have a flag. Orangefield moved way early there. Too many guys moving before the snap. Clock stopped at 2 seconds. And it is a procedure call against Orangefield, and that
-5, okay.
That will do it for the first half. After 2 in Liberty, Orangefield 21, the Panthers 7. Not the first half that Liberty drew up. You know, the exchanges have not been a problem today. We are going to go to the halftime show. Coach Chad Taylor going to talk to us. We'll be back after this.
Good evening, Panther Nation, and welcome to the halftime show. I'm Joe Roberts, alongside Ross Norwood, and we are here, as always, with, now I want to say his, no, he's not His Majesty, right? No,
No.
I can't say that. He's not the king, not just yet. Liberty Athletic Director and Head Coach Chad Taylor. Coach, it seems like the season has gone on and on and on, and it's been a pretty fun ride. 4-1. Heading into last Friday night, and here we are. Pretty big hopes for a win on Friday, and we had some issues that popped up, some ugly issues. Had some problems with the QB center exchange, Coach. Talk about that.
Well, we've actually had some problems with that for the last couple of weeks, regardless of the weather. I was a little worried about that going into this game, knowing that the weather conditions were terrible. We had some issues throughout the week. Not our normal center. We get our normal center back for this game, and hopefully we can adjust that. You'll see us in the gun a little bit more this week to try to eliminate the quarterback center exchange.
You switched from Caden to Austin
Was that in response to the exchange or just because of the conditions? Or
Yeah, I mean, we were just, it had everything to do with the exchange. And, I mean, we've had some issues in the games before where, I mean, we're just, we're not getting it. And, in a game like that, every possession mattered. And, I mean, you just can't afford to give up those opportunities. And luckily for us, our defense was able to, hold them out after that very first play for us where we fumbled the snap. So, but throughout the game, we probably had about 8 to 10 that, exchanges that really caused negative plays, not to mention 2 fumbles and two interceptions.
all right, Coach. I even hate to say this because the weather, the field was so nasty, but it did pop up. Had a hard time. You scored 49 points last week, or actually now it's the week before.
Yes, sir.
And then came in and had a really hard time getting the offense jump started, in large part because of that center quarterback exchange.
Well, that was just part of the problems. I mean, we knew going into it. I told those guys, Silsby had lost the week before to Orangefield, so this was going to be their actual first home game of the season. They were going to be amped up for that, and they were going to be a little agitated for the results that took place the week before. We knew we were going to get their very best, and at the end of the day, they brought it to us more than we brought it to them for sure.
All right, Coach. Was practice different? Was there a different mentality?
Well, I mean, it rained every day that week, so I mean, we're ducking and dodging the weather, and we were able to get offense in every day during the period. I mean, some of them got cut short because of the weather, but no, I mean, I just felt. I mean, I thought we had a couple good days of practice. I just felt like those guys just brought it to us, and we're not getting that. We're not reciprocating that energy and their physicality in practice. We only got so many guys, but yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, they played their game in the same weather we played in, and they took care of business.
All right, Coach. The defense, wow, they came to play on Friday night. Had some pretty dicey situations for you guys. And to be honest with you, it could have been ugly early, but because of the defense kept you guys in the game. What were they doing that was just giving you the chance?
Well, really, I mean, you're right. We fumbled that snap, gave them the ball probably around the 20 going in, and we held them out there. Then we had a bad snap on the over the punter's head that gave them the ball right around the 30. They had several opportunities, and our defense has been pretty solid all year long. We're really solid versus the run. I've said it all year long that we've gotten fortunate in the past that teams like Diboll, couldn't throw and catch because they got behind us many a times. And we knew going into this game that, number one was the real deal. And we were kind of hoping he was going to play running back because number 20, Marquise, had got hurt the week before. And number one came in and played running back, and we were kind of hoping that we weren't as nervous with him at running back as we were with him at receiver.
So let's talk about number one, Draylon Miller. That was actually my next question to you. It seemed like he had the Midas touch. He had 3 incredibly long scoring catches for touchdowns, and he's just a sophomore. How do you prepare for a player of that caliber? Because to be honest, we have not seen that kind of player through the first 5 games.
I mean, let's be honest. I mean, if you don't have one like that at your own school, then it's hard to prepare for somebody like that. You just try to, you just do the best you can. But I mean, he's unbelievable. I mean, and to think that we're going to have to go against that guy for the next 2 years just not really do well for my stomach. But I mean, he's a player, and I mean, I guarantee you're going to see a lot of Division I schools knocking on Silsby's door for that guy right there.
And he doesn't have any relatives in Liberty. That's
yeah. No, I mean, if he was here, we'd probably throw the ball a little bit more, to be honest with you.
And I mean, he's a tall kid, speedy,
big, strong, fast. I mean, he's a package. And I mean, he was the real deal for them. I mean, he caught 3. We did a great job, I thought, of stopping their run game, and they just went to the alternative and went over the top on us, and you know we couldn't stop them in the passing game.
Yep.
Coach, talking about Marquise Dodd, coming into that game, he had some incredible numbers. How did y'all approach that? And y'all did a very good job of pretty much shutting him down.
Well, going into it, we didn't know if we were going to be facing, Marquise Dodd. I mean, going into that game, he was the leading rusher in our district. I mean, unbelievable running back. Got banged up a little bit against Orangefield. I don't know if it was a hamstring or what it was, but we didn't know what we were going to see. And so when I saw number 20, pregame, I was like, oh my God, here we go. I automatically knew number 1 was going to be playing receiver. But our defense did a great job. Outside the first couple runs of the game, he kind of got loose a few times. But after that, we were on him pretty good and kind of held him in check. And I think they just went to the alternative. They didn't run the ball really against us at all. And I mean, their only answer was to try to throw deep to number 1. And fortunate for them, they connected 3 times.
About that, it appeared throughout the game when he dropped back, Brisbane, the quarterback, there was somebody in his face or right on him.
Yeah, we got to him. We were close on both of those long touchdowns in the second half. I thought we were going to get him, but when you got a special talent like Draylen Miller out there, you can throw it as far and as high and as far as you can, and chances are he's gonna get to it. So there was nothing that our guys defensively could have done other than played in the parking lot and hopefully wait for him to come. But we were there. We were there. It was just the fact that on that play he was a better athlete than we were at that time. But that's all. That's all it boils down to.
1-1 in district, and you're playing Orangefield now at home. How important is it to get this game at home?
Oh, it's really important. I told these guys after our game that I felt like Orangefield was going to be a must-win for us if we wanted to give ourselves a chance to make the playoffs. I had 3 games. We had 3 games at home against Hardin, Jefferson, Orangefield, and Breach City, and I felt like we needed to win all 3 of those. And then if we could sneak up on one of the other ones, great. But I felt like if we can win those 3, we could get in. So our goal is still right in front of us. It's we get Orangefield at home. They may sit around there and think that they beat Silsbee and we got beat by Silsbee, that kind of stuff. But they play Silsbee at home and we play Silsbee on the road. But it's going to be a good ball game. They're a really good football team.
Talking about Orangefield, after watching film, who stands out for them?
Well, they got a couple running backs. Number 32, Hunter Ashworth. He was an all-district performer last year, just a big bruiser, and we're gonna get a lot of him. I can promise you that. And then number 40, Cam Dishler. He's another returning all-district player, but he's got a little bit of speed to him. So I would venture to say that we're going to see a lot of 32 and 40.
All right, Coach, I don't normally go from commentator to fan, but there was one situation during the Silsbee game where I lost my bearing, as it were, for just a second. You were driving, and it was kind of the first time the offense really just woke up, and you were just gashing them a couple of times, and Jolyn Curtis had this amazing breakout to the right-hand side, and it looked from our vantage point like the defensive back or who it was that hit him grabbed him around the neck and slung him down right in front of the linesman, and he had his hands in his pockets. And did he say anything to you, or did he even acknowledge that? I'm
not sure if he said anything to me, but I know for a fact I said something to him, so that's not always good. Jolin's a small cat. He's quick, so you got to grab whatever you can grab. And at that time, they grabbed his neck and slung him down. But I'm just going to say you're going to see a lot more of number 3. We're going to put a few more formations together that really kind of let him be the single back. I think we're too far into the season to really go change our offensive blocking scheme. All we're going to do is try to throw a couple different formations in there, and then give him the ball 25 or 30 times this week.
All right, Coach. Last question: heading into this game, as you're preparing with the boys, what message, what concepts are you trying to reinforce to get them mentally ready for Orangefield?
I mean, you still have to understand that. I mean, we have to win this game to give our a chance to get in the playoffs, and that was what our goal was going into the season. Was hey, we want to get back in the playoffs and enjoy that moment. And so while it's still right here in front of you, you gotta watch the mechanism and start all over. And I think our guys will be ready. I think we'll throw some new things at them that they may be excited about. But hopefully it just gives us a chance to cut down on our center quarterback exchange. It also gives us an opportunity to maybe add a little zone read into the equation. But at the end of the day, we got us another home game against a really good football team, and we're 3-0 at home, and if we could finish this thing 4-0, then I would be really excited.
Well, hopefully that's what's occurring heading into halftime, Coach. Liberty Panther Sports Network. I'm Joe Roberts with Ross Norwood. We've been here with head coach and athletic director Chad Taylor. Second half kickoff coming up right after this.
Welcome back, Panther Nation. 11-4A action here at War Memorial Stadium on this, what was a really polite and nice evening, has turned into a little bit of a balmy evening. Your Liberty Panthers trailing 21-7 at the break. Got about 13 and a half minutes to go for halftime. Orangefield Bobcat band just exiting the field. And we're going to try and get some of our Liberty High School band and prancers and whomever else is about to be on the field. While we're doing that, Neil, do you have a stat rundown for us?
Yeah, Liberty 71 total yards offense, and most of it has been Jolin Curtis. He's gained 50 yards on 14 carries. Quarterback Caden Nolan is 0 for 2 passing, no interceptions. We have fumbled the ball once but recovered it. Orangefield has pretty much shut our offense down altogether other than a few bright spots by Jolin Curtis. On the other side of the ball, Orangefield got 199 yards of offense, 17 rushing plays. The quarterback, what's his name? Quarterback is Braden Parker. Quarterback is 1 for 2 passing for 6 yards totally. They've scored, of course, 3 times to Dishler. All 3 scores have been their fullback Dishler. Our one score came at 10:51 of the second quarter. Jaden Nolan goes around the end over here for about 6 or 8 yards. I got the wrong number in there. I think it's 6 yards. Then he went in and scored. But it's been all Orangefield. I was told before that Orangefield was the real deal, and then last week I got the report that maybe they had just slipped by Silsby by luck. I don't think it was luck. These boys, they got some really good skilled players. Those 2 fullbacks are
the fullback number 40,
job.
Cameron Dishler, he had some very athletic plays for a man his size.
For his size, and he's fast. He's fast for not only for a big guy. He's not just a threat up the middle. If he breaks the outside, he'll go around you. Their offensive line and defensive line, both of them been taking up the slack on our line every play. The one time we did try to pass, like I said, they had more people in our backfield than we did. So we're going to have to do a little better job on the offense and defensive line.
All right, Neil Thornton, thank you for that stat rundown. On the field right now, the Liberty Prancers with the little baby Prancers having a little fun time out there on the field. A couple of really cool happenings and goings-on around the district this week, Ross.
We've got a choir concert on Tuesday. That's at 7 o'clock at the high school.
No, auditorium.
And
that's going to be free.
And that is a free event. The theater, which you know a couple of things about.
Things.
Has a performance at
At the auditorium.
Auditorium. That is 6 p.m. on Thursday. That is a $5 admission.
And that's going to be one of our couple of fundraisers for the year.
You have college night going on, and that will also be on Thursday. That's at 5:30. So if you're interested, students can interact with recruiters from colleges and talk to them. Good event.
And that's going to be at the high school.
At the high school. Then on Thursday's a busy day, and this is another thing that you have a little
the
knowledge
theater
on.
is going to be on Friday.
Oh, Friday, excuse me.
Theater's on Friday. We have an open week this coming up week, and so we wanted to fill that Friday evening with the theater.
Okay, well then on Thursday morning, the first event on
Right.
Thursday is the District 21 4A cross country men's
Well, men and women.
men and women. I misread that. Thursday, 8 o'clock at Liberty Municipal Park. You are the host of this year's district meet. Talk
That
a little
is
bit
right.
about what you're expecting out of that.
So we're going to start with JV. It's going to be JV girls at 8, followed by JV boys at 8:30. Then varsity girls at 9, varsity boys at 9:30. And forgive me for some brain fog. I may have that flipped around, but it's going to be JV first and then varsity second. We've got several kids that have a real legitimate chance to exit district and head to regionals in Huntsville in a couple of weeks, namely junior Patrick Flowers, who has been having one heck of a season, picking up where he left off last year, made it to state as a sophomore, and he has medaled in every meet so far that he has competed in. Got a really strong boys team, got a couple of girls led by sophomore Holly Thomas, who was on that state championship softball team, and she's running some really nice races as of late. Again, a really good chance for the Liberty cross country teams to make their way to regional in a couple of weeks. All right, on the field right now, we have the LHS band under the direction of band director Sean Smith, as well as the Liberty Prancers out there performing to, I think it's Vehicle.
Sounds like that.
Like Vehicle out there.
With the chairs.
Yeah. Drum majors Tucker Schilling and now why am I blanking? I love these kids. Edgar Lopez. Drum majors there and doing a really fine job. They're going to be headed to district. No, I'm lying to you. Yeah. It's marching contest. There you go. Not district. Headed to marching contest. Regional. Is it regional? Or area marching contest. Going to be headed there to P&G, and it's not this coming weekend, but I think, is it next weekend, perhaps? It's coming up really soon. I'm sure someone can text me and correct me.
They had a warm-up.
Yeah, it was last weekend.
Last weekend.
That's right, and I think they were 2 weeks out. And then let's not forget the Lady Panther volleyball team has just been playing extraordinarily well. Earlier this afternoon, taking down Hampshire Finette in 3 to move to 6-2 on the year, and they are in the middle of the second round of district play. They will be hosting Splendora in a very, very big game on Tuesday, and that's going to be probably varsity going to be starting somewhere around the 6:45, 6:50 mark, depending on what the sub-varsity teams do. They played Splendora very well last time. I think they lost in 4, and they are just really cooking with gas right now, trying to make the playoffs again. And I don't know how many years they've made the playoffs, but that volleyball program at the high school has been very successful.
Well, I was looking at those chairs too. We got a shot from our producer there. The Prancer girls was up on those chairs, and I was just sitting there wondering if that was OSHA approved for them standing up in a chair. That's not real safe. Do want to give a shout out to one of my old partners from years and years ago, Danny Ramsey, lives over in Tomball, a retired Houston police officer. His daughter played softball for the University of Alabama and was an Olympian back in, and he'll have to text me and tell me, I think it was in 12. But they've been involved in youth sports. Danny's been a big factor in the Methodist men's group at the state and national level. His brother, bless his soul, was a Methodist pastor. I've known Danny since we were little kids playing baseball together. He's one of the best catchers you ever saw, and could hit. When he was 12 years old, he could hit like a grown man. He's one of the strongest, country-strong individuals I ever knew, and from a good family, and I appreciate him tuning in tonight.
All right, Liberty Panther Band. Looks like they're going to be performing what I presume will be their contest show right now. And as they're doing that, we're going to talk about the adjustments that the Panthers are going to need to make coming into halftime, Ross.
The biggest problem for Liberty in the first half was the Orangefield defensive line, for lack of a better term, blowing up the Liberty offensive line. How they're going to make that adjustment, some predictions. I think you're going to see some varied snap counts, as well as some different looking formations. Still out of that base formation, but give them some different looks. Adjust the snap count, because the way they're playing, it looks like maybe they're timing things.
Well, one of the things that we did see as you were making the call, I saw something different out of the double wing formation this time. They had Caden Nolan in the shotgun, and they were playing sort of a pistol in the double wing, and that seemed to give them a little bit, but those defensive linemen, as you were just talking about, those defensive linemen from Orangefield were just blowing up the gaps, and Jolyn Curtis and company were having a really hard time busting to the outside.
Want to mention that the JV boys went to Orangefield yesterday, and they picked up the win. So a big win for the JV boys.
Yeah, the 7th grade team had a really nice win yesterday as well. They ended up winning by 2, and let me tell you what, that 7th grade team had a man-child at quarterback, and he's going to be good for them for a while.
Chris Ebert?
No, the Orangefield team.
Orangefield. Okay.
This kid was stiff-arming kids, throwing them into the dirt. He had a couple of throws that you don't see seniors make.
Spiral type.
And when he came through, he had a crackback helmet-to-helmet thing that he got tossed out with about 5 or so minutes left in the game, and that was really the turning point. And then Liberty went ahead and scored twice after that to take the victory. But, man, impressive for a young man like that.
7th grade team went to halftime down 14 and ended up with a 2-touchdown win. A tough one for the 8th grade boys, who faced a tough test because Orangefield's 8th grade team has never lost a game dating back to last year as 7th graders, and they dropped that one 12-6.
Yeah, you talked to Coach Jackson Pope down there at the middle school. What did he have to say about that?
Well, I'm not going to give it away all together
okay.
Because I will have a story about that game and about the coronation tomorrow that will be posted tomorrow. But they were impressed. Not impressed. Nobody ever wants to lose, but they felt like they really fought hard and could have won that game, and it almost did.
12-6. One score and an extra point.
It was very close. Yeah, the Panther marching band incorporating some vocalists. That was Naila Donato singing there. Caught her out of the corner of my ear on that. She's a perennial state qualifier contender. She's made state and choir. She's one of Miss Christy Bean's
solo ensemble.
Yeah, super singers. If I don't even know if that's the correct term, but she's definitely one of her stars. There you go, all-state choir. That's what it was, all-state choir. Thank you, producer Richard Ewing, always in our ear, correcting us when we say dumb things, and
which is often with me.
Very often with myself, so he has to stay on his toes. Just about 2 minutes to go here at halftime. Your Liberty Panthers trailing 21-7, and 11-4A action continuing. The Panthers trying to get on track so that they can make a postseason run. Not been in the postseason in a couple of years. And if they drop tonight, it's going to put a lot of pressure on them to have a must-win game against Bridge City and Hampshire Finette. And even then, there's probably going to be some mathematical something or others that are going to have to occur.
That's when you get into those total points and all of that algorithm that they run on that, and it can be confusing.
The other thing, if Liberty can pull this one off, they're down 21-7 right now, but we've seen them be able to score a bunch of points, and we've seen that defense be able to shut down. And I don't believe that it'll be any different than it normally is when they come out of halftime, those halftime adjustments.
You're watching the Liberty Panthers Sports Network. Joe Roberts, Ross Norwood, Neil Thornton on stats, producer Richard Ewing, and what's happening right now is the Panthers are trailing, and they're going to find a way. We've seen Coach Chad Taylor time and time again make adjustments, coming out of halftime. Excited to see that. Going to be off next week. Liberty going to have their bye. And then when they come back, we'll be on the road to West Orange in 2 weeks. That'll be a 7:30 kickoff. And again, we will be there in West Orange. We'll go live at about 7:15. And then after that, we'll be home for Bridge City. And then the District 11 4A finale will be on the road at Hampshire Finette. And I'm guessing, if I had to make a prediction, no matter how this game turns out, the rest of those contests are going to be some hotly contested fair for the rest of the district.
The tempo is going to be up. The heart rates are going to be up because they're really going to be it's going to put the focus on the importance of those ball games.
All right, Ross and Neil, I am out. I'll see you at the conclusion of this contest. Good luck.
Thank you. And the Panthers are getting ready to run through. Coming out of the locker room, they're waiting in the tunnel of the inflatable Panther.
Yeah, and the band is a little bit late. We're down to 0 on the clock, and I don't see any Panthers coming out of the tunnel. So,
well,
it would going to have to clear out pretty quick. There they go.
It's pretty good that there weren't any coming out of the tunnel. Otherwise, that could have been a disaster, as they would have run right into the band.
I have seen when I was a kid, we used to go to a lot of Rice games. Living in Houston, went to a lot of Rice games when they were playing at home. And I have seen Rice line up in the Texas band. The coach that they had at Rice, old man Neely, at the end of 15 minutes, he was going to line his team up. And if the Texas band was on the field, they had a football team out there with them.
Orangefield out of their inflatable Bobcat, as they had a dominating first half. Went into halftime with a 2-touchdown lead. They will get the ball back as they deferred the kick. Or they
deferred the kickoff.
They deferred receiving.
Exactly. I don't know what you.
Here come the Panthers, and we get some more pink and some white smoke as the Panthers come out of the tunnel. Led by the flag. Spirit team.
You said it at the beginning of the game, before the game started, though, Ross. You said that the game was going to be won or lost in the front line, the offensive, defensive line. So far, you've been exactly right. Orangefield's line, both sides of the ball, especially the defensive line, has really taken up the slack from Liberty, and it shows on the scoreboard.
And just thinking about it, that varying the snap count some, I think, will help because they really are firing right off the ball.
Exactly. They may be going on. They've got the cadence down and they're going on the sound. And if we could get them to lag back just a half a count on the count of a couple of offside penalties, and they did have an offside penalty down here that we decided not to take because we gained 7 yards on the play. We'd only gained 5 on the penalty. So and that was right before our touchdown. So there's opportunity there, like you said, maybe some difference in the cadence, and they got their number one center back. So you're not afraid to do that kind of thing with an experienced center and quarterback duo.
Deep man for Orangefield on the near side is Evan Spears, and on the far side is their star fullback Cameron Dishler. Standing about their 5-yard line. Looks like Spears is going to move inside the 5-yard line.
If I was Montez, I'd kick this right at the corner.
High kick, short kick from Montez, fielded cleanly at about the 22-yard line before being drugged down. Ball comes loose.
Austin Walker made him wear one on that. It wasn't a violent tackle, but he grabbed him by the shirt. And down he went.
Lane Evans was the returner.
Going to give it to him about, the 22? Oh, I don't know, 21.
Waiting to see.
Quit walking around. Get still down there.
It is going to be the 22-yard line. You were right, Neil. I could not figure. I think I said 21, but.
Well, and I hate to say this, but in case my friend Mike is listening, but the Zebras just kind of walk around down there, don't give us a lot of spot.
Orangefield sends 2 wide outs on the far side. Quick snap, ball is handed off.
little better line play on that side.
To Ainsworth.
Giving him out to the 24.
And he gets up to the 24.
Is that Ashworth?
That is Ashworth. They have really shown that dynamic 1-2 fullback. Not a position you normally see that in, where you have two very speedy and big.
I think Ashworth is their more power runner, and Dishler is their, and there he goes.
He gets the inside handoff, goes outside the hash marks. A nice pickup. And it'll bring up a third down and about, depending on where they put this down box.
Put it right on the 30.
It's going to be on the 30.
6-yard pickup.
And they will need the 33 for a first down. Hand off to Ashworth.
See where the spot
and
is.
He is going to, looks like they're going to give him the first down. Ball moves up to the 34-yard line. Some changes for the Panthers. Gavin Fontenot in on the line. This ball pitched to Gavin Perry-Kochi. I think it's Kosi.
Probably.
I think I've said Kochi all night. It's a big pickup and a big first down into Liberty territory.
14 yards and a first down.
He's had a reception and a couple of runs, Neil.
Yeah, the other run was just a 1-yarder, so he's got two carries for 15 yards and one reception for 6 yards.
Wide man on the far side. Pitch deep back to the fullback, who goes head on and knocks down Caden Nolan and keeps going to that far sideline. And a huge pickup. Dishler was the ball carrier.
He got about 8, doesn't it?
Ball on the Liberty 41-yard line. Titus Bell
anyway.
comes out for a breather. Colby Ewing. Ball is handed off to the other fullback, and I'll remember his name about the time the game is out, Hunter Ashworth. And it's enough for a first down, well more than he needed for a first down. Ball's going to be spotted at the Liberty 34-yard line.
Yeah, that's 8 carries for Ashworth for a total of 29 yards, but Mr. Dishler has 10 carries for 175 yards on the night.
I formation. Hand it off to Dishler, who goes up the middle.
He never quits moving his feet.
And breaks some tackles. And a big chunky yardage on first down.
Another 7-yard pickup by that young man.
William Waldrop coming out for a breather. He's a guy that's all over the field. Tight formation. Dishler gets this ball again. Cuts inside. That's not Dishler. Across the 5 and into the end zone.
What number was
Gavin Perry-Kosi.
14.
And on, yes, sir. On their first drive of the second half, they put up 6 points. Could be 7, the extra point. Ty Butler getting ready to kick it. 27-7. High snap, it's down. The kick is up, and it is good, and it is 28-7. Orangefield with 7:40 left in the third quarter. Not the drive you wanted to start the second half if you're Liberty?
You know, one thing that you can say about this game, though, it's been really cleanly played. We haven't seen a holding penalty. We haven't seen an illegal block penalty. The only thing we saw was that offside down here that Liberty declined. It's been a really cleanly played game. So when you look at a big gain like that, you automatically look on the field to see if you see any penalty flags for bad blocks, what have you. But not tonight.
Liberty's hole got deeper on that. There's a Captain Obvious reference somewhere in there. Valtierra on the near side, Curtis on the far side, standing at their 15-yard line. Low line drive kick in and out of the hands of, that was Gavin Fontenot.
He just fell on it to protect it, and that was smart.
So decent.
Chase Van Sciver, who that was. Ball 33, they said, 33-yard line.
33-yard line, so decent field position for Liberty to start their first drive of the second half.
People that are listening to us are also able to see us, and that's pretty much the middle of the hog pen right there. That field is torn up pretty bad.
Getting a good shot of it right now on the close camera. Nolan back under center, quick snap, hands this ball off to Valtierra, who goes to the far side.
Yeah, he did.
Gets tripped up a little bit by Evan Spears, but keeps moving forward, and he will pick up about 7.
If it gets to the 41, it's 7.
They're going to give him the 41-yard line.
Well, if that's 8, actually, on 41.
7:13 as the clock moves. Liberty down 28-7.
A long 2, maybe a short 3.
Nolan hands this ball off. Did not see a number. I think it was Titus Bell.
No, I think that's 25. I think that's
oh, that is 25.
Colton Bishop.
Colton was the starting fullback for Liberty tonight. You know, they've provided me with a nice video screen here, and I've just got to train myself to look at it more. Third down and about 3.
Need this conversion. Ooh, high snap.
Jolan Curtis gets this one and quickly is swarmed. And it will be a gain of nothing and bring up a 4th down. And with 6:16 down 28-7, they're going to go for it here.
I don't see them going in the middle. Those boys from Orangefield are still taking up the slack in the center. They're going to have to do some, like you're talking about, some type of misdirection, get them over pursuing something. You notice the inside reverse, it was actually inside reverse and went around the end. It wasn't their normal cross, but was real successful a while ago.
Curtis gets the ball, goes outside, got the first down across the 45-yard line, down to about the 48-yard line, waiting for that spot. A good pickup there by Jolan Curtis. Nolan has the play. Liberty gets to the line. So far, it's been pretty quick snaps. Pitch back.
That Valtierra?
No, that was.
I thought that was 22.
That was 32.
32.
We'll have to check this. You may be right. My eyes are playing tricks on me. That was Valtierra.
Okay.
We don't have a 32.
Better not be 32. So that's back. That's down to the 49. So that was actually about a 3-yard pickup.
Out of the shotgun formation, Jolan Curtis gets the handoff. He cuts outside and he picks up a big chunk of yards.
Get him out to about the 43.
And he ends up with some Orangefield Bobcats on on the track. That hit taking place, though, before
44.
he was out of bounds. So a clean hit, just momentum took him onto the track.
That's 17 carries on the night for Jolin. You know, Coach said at the halftime show 25 to 30 carries. We're still, you know, middle of the third quarter, and he's already got 17.
Needs 4 for the first down. Quick snap and a keeper for Caden Nolan, and he is going to pick up about a yard.
Yeah, I gave him a yard.
And that is going to bring up a 4th down. Should be about a 4th and 3.
It's going to bring a 4th down and short for Panthers.
I got a 2.
I would say, I would say a long 2.
Yeah. Don't go to the middle. Don't go to the middle.
Rolls out, Caden Nolan.
Oh, he slipped. Did you see?
He slipped.
Trying to get in that hole, and he slipped. He had it.
At about the 46-yard line.
He had the read. It was good. He did a good read, and the hole closed up because he slipped. That's a shame.
And it's
That
a
is
turnover
crying
on
shame.
downs. And Orangefield will set up shop at their own 46-yard line. No, they're going to give him the 44-yard line.
Chinese walk. And yes, the mayo.
Orangefield been quick to the line for the most part.
We may get a flag on that.
Close to being offsides. Dishler, actually Ashworth gets that and runs that one off towards the near side.
49, let's see. Uh-oh.
There's an injured Orangefield player on the field. A lot of happenings next week at the high school. It kicks off on Tuesday at 7 o'clock at the auditorium for a choir concert. That is free. College Day, 5:30 on Thursday.
Thursday night, that's right.
Where you can come talk to college recruiters and have a good conversation, get a good feel for the different school opportunities you might have. Then the cross-country district meet
that morning, right,
will be that morning at 8.
I was glad to hear Coach Roberts call my neighbor's name, Holly Thomas. She's quite an athlete. She lives in our neighborhood now. Glad to have her in her family.
That at Liberty Municipal Park. So if you're available, it would be much appreciated, the support. And then finally on Friday at 6 o'clock, the LHS Theater Department is putting on their production as a fundraiser. Tickets are $5. That's 6 p.m. at the auditorium as well. After the injury, we're back ready to play. Ball on the near side. It is handed off this time to Gavin Perry-Cosi.
Got 1. That's better than the last time he touched it. Last time he touched it, he got 28 yards and a touchdown.
Ball now sits on the 50-yard line. Clock ticking under 2 minutes and 45 seconds now.
3rd and about 4, looks like.
Big third down play for this Panthers defense. Ball is handed off to Ashworth, who takes it right up the middle and will pick up the first down before being brought down at the Liberty 45-yard line. Fresh set of downs for Orangefield. They have a 28-7 lead. And with time now under 2 minutes and 20 seconds in the third quarter, the Panthers really need something to happen here on defense. This ball is again given to Dishler, who cuts back inside, and he is taken down by Mason Godot.
That's the second time Mason's caught him in the open field.
Inside the Liberty 10-yard line, but that was touchdown saving. Clock stops as they get ready to reset the chains. 2 minutes exactly. Now the referee winds the clock.
48-yard pickup.
It is 1st and goal. Ashworth gets this one, runs over a Panther and into the end zone. No flags. It is a touchdown for Orangefield with 1:44 left in the third quarter. 34-7 pending the extra point attempt by Ty Butler.
And the touchdown was by Ashworth, and he's a great runner. But you got Cameron Dishler's carried the ball 12 times for 230 yards, and we're still in the third quarter.
The extra point attempt is on the way. Again, this one is sliced, this time missing the inside of the upright, and it is no good. With 1:44 left in the third quarter, Liberty trails Orangefield 34-7 on the Liberty Panthers Sports Network. Want to thank the Liberty ISD Education Foundation. You can get a lot of information about them at their website, libertyeducationfoundation.com. I said that, Neil. I've only looked at it 100 times. libertyeducationfoundation.net.
.net.
I should know that.
That's right.
You can also donate. They help teachers with projects that otherwise they wouldn't be able to do.
Right.
I want to thank the scoreboard sponsor, Emily Cook, attorney at law, for their very generous sponsorship. If you're interested, we have spots available.
We surely do.
Contact Richard Ewing at Liberty High School. The kick is going to be fielded cleanly by Valtierra, who cuts up the middle, crosses the 30, still on his feet across the 35-yard line before being pounded down.
At the 37.
At the 37. So Liberty has had, with the exception of one drive, good field position, sometimes great field position.
Yeah, I thought at the first of the game when we traded punts and they had scored first, but we kind of solved that right at first, and we traded punts and gained some yards on them. I said, well, this is going to end up being a field position game, but it changed on us. What classification is Dishler? Is he a senior?
Dishler is a junior.
A junior. Ooh, he might be a. There's that inside reverse again. 22, Valtierra, picking up about 2, looks like.
And on that pickup of 2, just want to say hi to Bruce Wright, who just affirmed that I should know that address, that web address. The director of the Liberty ISD Education Foundation, longtime educator, was my government teacher.
Is that when they were doing two-semester government?
Two-semester government.
Yeah.
We got to do mock trials, which was a real thrill.
Had a constitution test at the end of the year you had to pass before you could get your diploma, if I remember right.
I know we had a final.
Yeah.
We actually got to do 2 trials. So that was a fun experience. Second down and about 9 to go. Liberty trails 34-7.
Number 2 going to keep it himself. Did well.
Nice job by
49.
Caden Nolan. As he gets enough for a first down, that'll stop the clock. Ball at the 49-yard line of Liberty.
Picked up 10.
Under 35 seconds in the third quarter with Liberty trailing 34-7.
They won't have far to walk, will they? Just cross over and point the other way.
High snap. Nolan rolls out,
There's
throws,
a short pass,
and it is just out of the outstretched hands of Colton Bishop. And we have an official on the far side signifying that clock needed to stop. They'll adjust that and put the proper time. The clock stops on the incomplete pass. It's at 9 seconds now. It'll go up to 21 seconds.
Okay.
So now with 21 seconds, it brings up a third down. Oh, excuse me, a second down and 10. Clock is controlled by 2 members of the officiating crew.
Oh.
Snap is out of the hands of Caden Nolan. He connects. First down, but flags fly.
What was the flags about? A block?
Colton Bishop picks that up, but we're going to have to see what these flags are. Look to see there's 2 flags down close to each other. One of them's been picked up and moved back, and it will be a block in the back against Liberty.
So that was a pickup out to the 43. Said an 8-yard. An 8-yard completion and a 15-yard penalty.
Ball behind the sticks now. And that's going to do it for the third quarter. After 3, Orangefield is 34, Liberty 7. The fourth quarter is coming up, obviously. There I go again, Captain Obvious.
Was that – now, his signal – and like I say, I don't know anything about football, but his signal looked to me like he was calling offensive pass interference. For that to be offensive pass interference, that blocker would have had to hit those guys while the ball was still in the air. And it looked to me like Bishop had caught the ball because Caden was having to scramble. He had caught come back to the toward the line of scrimmage, caught the ball and was headed downfield when the block was made. I wish we had a replay to look at that, but the ball was not. I don't believe the ball was still in the air. If that's, did they use the same signal for a crackback block or an illegal block?
It looked to me like it was a block in the back, but then again, I was not.
Well, he would have called it clipping. To me, it was the classic.
What makes me think of block in the back is that it came in much later, right after Bishop, as Valtierra tries to get around the corner before being forced out of bounds.
Call it the 49, about 3.
3-yard pickup, bring up a third down and long into Orangefield territory.
We might try that rollout pass one more time. That run pass option. We saw it last week, and Liberty had pretty good success with it, but they only ran it once.
Nolan hands this one off to Curtis. He's going to barrel over the 45 and go down just before going out of bounds.
At the 41 or 2.
See where they spot this, Neil.
Here again, they're walking around.
And it will be enough for
42.
a first down.
No,
oh, excuse me.
Because of the penalty. It would normally be, but not this time.
It's going to bring up 4th and inches.
So 4th and inches, the Panthers coming out. Nolan in the shotgun. Snap, handoff to Curtis. Eludes a tackle, crosses the 40. He's across the 20 before being pushed out inside the 15-yard line at the 14.
28 yards and a first down for that young man. Best run of the night, I think, for him.
Ball's placed, looks like around the 14-yard line, 1st and 10, Liberty.
Curtis to the left of Nolan, who fakes the handoff. He's going to keep it. Breaks outside before
10.
being slung down, but it will be a pickup to the 10-yard line.
Picks up about, correction, Caleb, Caden Nolan. Picks up, looks like 4 of the carries. He'll bring up second down and 6.
The 4-yard pickup, second down and 6 for Liberty at the Orangefield 10-yard line. Liberty trails 34-7. Want to thank our scoreboard sponsor, Emily Cook, attorney at law.
Going in here and score and make this presentable anyway.
Nolan fakes
Block
the
somebody.
handoff, rolls out to the far side, right into trouble,
Shook
but
loose,
cuts
though.
back over to the other side,
Got down to about
and
the
he's
4,
going to
I
end up
think, or
picking up
5.
a big chunk of yards. They're going to spot him at the 5 if the line judge on the near side is correct.
Right on the 5.
And so a play that was busted.
Brings the ball back to the 5-yard line. It's going to bring up
Little Johnny Manziel action there. Got away from those 2 defenders, spun around, started back up the middle. Everybody pinched on him. He juked outside, found a little seam, got 5 yards out of something that would have been a 10-yard loss normally.
3rd and short. Curtis gets this ball, crosses the 5-yard line, and into the end zone for a touchdown.
He can follow blockers better than any little kid I ever saw. He is so patient.
(34-13) pending the extra point. Brian Montez has his mark. He'll be at the 10-yard line. Mason Godot doing the holding. Good snap. And the kick is up and off the right upright.
extra point is no good.
That
And it
doesn't
is no
happen
good.
often.
It does not happen often.
Orangefield Bobcats 34.
Liberty put 6 on the board. They trail 34-13. 9:36 left
Sponsor El Rio.
in the 4th quarter. They're going to really have to get some
Mark your calendar.
good defensive play, get a quick turnover here, or at a minimum, a 3 and out.
It would be nice to get a turnover. I will say that. But you notice, like I said, this has been a clean ball game. No turnovers by either team so far yet. No lost penalty, no lost fumbles, no interceptions. Liberty almost picked one off there in the 2nd quarter. That's as close as we've come to a turnover in this ball game. He's kind of surveying the front line here. Don't be surprised. You know Chad.
Could see an onside kick here.
Look, yep. Or Poocher anyway, yeah.
It's going to be a high one angling towards the far sideline, in and out of the hands
He touched it.
of
went right
Dishler,
out.
but it goes right out of bounds.
27-yard line.
Nice angled kick by Montez. And a fortunate fumble, or at least, I guess we call that a fumble,
I don't know.
out of bounds instead of forward. 9:35 left, Orangefield with a 34-13 lead. Liberty Band is playing with the cheerleaders dancing along.
That's some defense.
And that is going
Talk
to
through
be
that
stopped
blocking.
for a loss.
Blocked him in.
Dishler.
Yes,
Quentin
sir.
Johnson.
Back to the 25. Lost 2 on that play.
And Caleb Chandler had a lot to do with that loss.
He just refused to be blocked. And I mean, the offensive lineman, the tight end, had him. He just fought through it.
Handed off again
Dishler or Ashworth?
It looks like it may be Ashworth. I'll have to.
No, I think that's Dishler. He's a
It
little
is
smaller.
Dishler.
A little smaller. So the 20, we're talking about the 29.
Ball is at the 29-yard line of Orangefield.
4.
They need 8 for a first down. The clock is running.
And they're letting it.
Absolutely. Man in motion is Dishler. He takes the inside handoff, and he is going to pick up a good chunk of yards, but we've got a flag down at about the 34-yard line, and it is going to be a hold. It was thrown by the referee. That will negate that gain.
Looks like holding against the Bobcats.
And they'll replay third down.
So that's -10 for these guys.
It'll be marked off from the 34-yard line. The referee was very deep and threw a missile with his flag.
So they're spotting the ball on the, what is that, the 24?
24-yard line.
Okay.
So a third and long. Clock continues to run under 8 minutes.
Watch pass, boys.
Fake to Dishler. It is going to be handed off to Kosi.
14.
He's classified as the tailback for Orangefield, but it's been the fullback game. Titus Bell with the stop.
Titus Bell gets hold of you. He will stop you.
Fourth down and long for Orangefield. They're going to let this clock run down probably until 1 on the play clock and then call a timeout. They're trying to get as much time off the clock as possible.
I'd punt it at 1 second. I'd have the punter out there and just long count it, not waste a timeout.
Timeout, Bobcats.
That will do it. Well, now we're in a timeout. It's not doing it for anything. We're not over.
No. I'll do it for this series of downs, though.
I'll show up to announce this game tomorrow. Maybe I'll be on my
You're doing a great job, Ross.
A game.
I'm glad you got the call.
Be sure to follow your
Like I said,
Panthers sports on social media. Keep up with sports schedules and updates. Become a member of the Liberty Athletic Booster Club page on Facebook. You can also
I could do better on baseball, I think. Speaking of, I think the Giants, I saw a text that Bruce sent me. I think the Giants are ahead of the Dodgers right now.
The Giants having a very impressive season, kind of coming out of nowhere, got off to a hot start. A lot of people said it was a fluke, and they ended up winning the division, a very tough division. The punt is up. It's a high one. It's going to land inside the 40-yard line and roll all the way down to the 25. That's where Liberty will set up shop. Astros jumped out to a 2-0 lead in the division series against the White Sox today. 2 impressive wins to start that series for the Astros.
Yeah, their offense just got cranked up going this afternoon, and wasn't anything going to stop them.
9-4 victory after a 6-1 win on Thursday. They have an off day tomorrow, and they'll play Game 3 in Chicago. 7:07 game.
You know, it's getting to be fall up there. I wonder how the weather's going to be. It could be windy and ugly.
Curtis gets this ball, goes towards the outside. He's going to be swallowed up, and the ball is going to be stripped.
That was number 11. That wasn't Curtis. That was number 11.
However, the officials
Bankhead. See that was.
are going to say it was not. He gets forward progress, picks up one. Ball was stripped after he had lost forward progress. Oh, was that Bankhead?
Bankhead. got Bishop in it. I guess that's fullback in the that's almost a single wing. Y'all are not nearly that old. There's Bishop with the reception. Looks like he's going to go out there and get that first down maybe.
Spins off a couple of tacklers and then is mobbed right near the first down. The line judge on the near side signaling the clock to stop, so it's going to be close. And they're going to have it. They're going to have a first down.
How about that, would you?
Nice pitch and catch by Caden Nolan and Colton Bishop. That's the second time they've hooked up in his second half. Both times for positive yardage.
Yeah. 8 yards one time, 9 yards the first down that time, so that's very good.
Bankhead gets the run. He goes forward, the tall back, crosses the 40 and is going to be up to the 41-yard line. Nice pickup on first down by Bankhead.
6 yards.
They need the Liberty 45 for a first down. High snap, pulled down, handed off to Bankhead. Bankhead dances around a couple of Orangefield Bobcats before being drugged down by the mob right on that 45-yard line. That will be another Liberty first down. Under 5 minutes left in this game. Liberty trails 34-13. Colton Bishop, the fullback in this one. Moves up. Bankhead goes in motion. The ball is going to be handed off inside to Valtierra. Crosses the 45 and is going to be brought down at about the 47-yard line of Liberty. Is that right, Neil? Or yeah, it's 47 where he's got
48.
it. Well, they're going to give him the 48. 4:09 left in this one.
Short, do something short.
This ball downfield, it goes incomplete. The nearest receiver was an Orangefield cornerback. That was Evan Spears, who was close to that. Not really close, but he was the closest to that as Caden Nolan had a lot of pressure. Fontenot, the intended receiver, 3:55 as the clock stops on the incompletion. Not the way the Panthers had drawn this one up to go. Bankhead back in, tailback, low snap, picked up off the ground by Nolan, who then takes off to the near side.
I don't like seeing that little tackle down around his shins, but he's up, not limping, so.
He is going to get to the 40.
No, they put
they're
it
going to put it right on the 50-yard line. That was a hit that was kind of on the line, literally.
Well, it scared me the way he folded up and went down there. It's not good for the knees.
Fourth down, Liberty needs the Orangefield 45 for a first.
Trying to draw him off.
Going to try to draw him off, and the timeout coming from Liberty. That's their first timeout of the second half. And they'll come back to the sideline and talk about it. Tuesday at the auditorium, the choir is having a free concert. That's 7 p.m.
Is that the LISD auditorium?
Yes, the LISD auditorium.
Campus? Okay.
On Thursday, the cross-country 21-4A men, I keep saying men's and women's district meet will be at Liberty Municipal Park. That starts at 8 a.m. On Thursday evening is the college open house at 5:30. Then on Friday, to round out the week, the theater department is putting on their production at the LISD auditorium at 6 p.m. Admission on that one is $5. Bankhead gets this one, goes forward. He's going to be really close to the first down. See where the spot is. Orangefield coach is trying to help the far side line judge, but he's ignoring him as he had his back to him. And they're going to be just short, and a turnover on downs for Liberty. Orangefield will get the ball back with 3:42 and a 34-13 lead. You know, the choir concert on Tuesday is a good time to see the talented Liberty High School choir department. And good running at the cross-country meet coming up on Thursday. In the theater on Friday. You can really fill your week up with Liberty ISD activities.
Exactly. These kids are busy.
Football team is off next week.
And you'll see a lot of these same kids doing those productions and singing in the choir. And small school like that, you get to do that.
It was handed off. See a number here, could not get it. It's Ashworth.
Is it Ashworth?
They've been able to get big chunks of yardage on first down, and that's really helped them throughout this ball game. Orangefield will improve to 2-0 in district. Liberty will fall to 1-2. I mean, we still have 3 minutes, but ball is going to be handed off to Case Singleton. He's going to get enough for the first down before being brought down at the 40-yard line of Liberty.
Handoff number 2, Case Singleton picks him up for the first down. Ball's at the 40-yard line. First 10 Bobcats, brought down by Mason Goodo.
A couple of MLB scores. The Game 2 ALDS game between Boston and Tampa, which is in Tampa. Top of the 9th inning, Boston has a 14-6 lead. That would even the series at 1. Pitch back.
Number 20, I don't think that was 40. Those numbers are
they're very hard to see.
They're hard to see. There's not a lot of contrast because it's a real light colored orange.
That is
or 10.
Number 10.
10, okay.
Braden Parker.
No gain on the play.
Number 40 on the carry. Looks like no gain.
Well, there's
So second and 10.
public
They
address
said
announcer
40,
said
but
40,
I
but it
don't
looked
think
like
it was
10
to
from
me.
here.
No, stop.
Oh, he got hit, whoever that was.
That is
Handoff number 2, Case Singleton.
2.
Caleb Chandler with the takedown.
Caleb Chandler will stop.
One thing you can say about that defense, they don't give up. They're still out there making them pay for every yard they get.
Third down. As the clock ticks under a minute, 10 seconds. Three on the play clock as the ball snapped.
11.
It's going to be pitched back to Leighton Loft, a name we have not called, and it'll be good enough for a first down.
Handoff number 11, Leighton Loft.
Under the 28.
As he is taken down at the 28-yard line, and with 51 seconds left on the clock, Liberty does have 2 timeouts, but they trail 34-13. In the early National League game, Game 1, they started all their series today. The Brewers topped the Braves 2-1.
Victory formation. Yeah, that's it.
We'll go down to a knee. And that will
Take
do
care
it
of it.
as both teams head back to their respective sidelines. A tough loss for Liberty, a dominating performance by Orangefield. Their offensive line and really getting off in their defensive line, both their lines. It set up kind of as we had talked about before the game, Neil.
Yeah, line play, exactly. You called it perfectly before the game. It was the line, and that's what did it.
As we get the congratulatory handshakes at the 50-yard line, both teams and their cheerleaders line up and do that. In the other National League game today, the Dodgers and Giants. The Dodgers trail the Giants 2-0. That game is in the bottom of the fourth, and it's being played in San Francisco. Tough loss, 34-13 for the Panthers. They fall to 1-2 in district, 4-3 overall. Orangefield improves to 2-0 in district and are in control of the district. Not sure what West Orange Stark has done tonight.
No, I haven't heard anything. Nobody's texted in. If you know the West Orange Stark, or anybody's out there knows the West Orange Stark score, let us know. So 34-13, Orangefield. Scoring in the second half. Roll it up here, I can.
You can see the Panthers and the cheerleaders lined up singing the school song. A good tight shot by our cameraman Joe Roberts.
Second half.
Oh, that was Allen.
Second half scoring. Orangefield scored at 7:40 of the third quarter. Perry Kosey goes in on a 28-yard run. PAT was good. Brought the score 28-7. Orangefield came back, scored again with a minute and 44 seconds left in the third quarter. Ashworth goes in from 7 yards out. PAT was no good, and that was brought the score to 34-7. Then Liberty scored with 9:36 left in the fourth. Curtis goes in from 5 yards out. Our PAT was not good, which is very unusual. Brought our score up to 13. The final score 34-13. No interceptions, no recovered fumbles. Pretty well played game as far as penalties go and cleanliness. Liberty actually penalized for 10 yards on this questionable block over here. One penalty for 10 yards. Orangefield penalized twice for 15 yards total. So it was just like you talking about, it was a battle in the trenches, and Orangefield won the battle in the trenches.
As Coach Taylor talking with his squad after this loss, Joe Roberts joins us.
Well, it seems like an eternity since I was here last time.
It seems like an eternity for you?
Yeah, for me. I've been standing for however long this game's been going on, for 2 hours, over 2 hours now.
Well, I was sitting, but
I
was standing as well.
I
just sat down.
up and down.
Neil was up and down and doing his thing with the computer.
That's not good on old people.
Well, I want to thank all the sponsors for this evening's broadcast. Primarily want to thank the Liberty ISD Education Foundation for being our starting lineup sponsor and helping us to do some good things with the kids at Liberty ISD. And want to thank Miss Emily Cook, attorney at law, for sponsoring the scoreboard this evening. And we still have 3 contests left. Plus, we have some sports coming up in the late fall and springtime that still need some sponsorships. We will be following the Lady Panthers in the spring as they get ready to defend their state championship, as well as hoping to cover some of the Panther baseball games, perhaps a couple of Panther soccer games. A lot of opportunities for our audiovisual students to get going, and your sponsorship dollars help us to put equipment in their hands, helps us to get these kids the real-world training that they need to have a post-high school career, whether it be in college or whether it be some real-world work experience. Absolutely. We'd love to be able to cut to some sponsors so you don't have to hear my voice the entire 2.5 hours. And heavens knows we don't want to hear Neil too much.
That's exactly right. just so much. There's just so much hillbilly that you could take.
Well, I was going to say, he kept saying tonight that he didn't know anything about football, and I'm going, what are you talking about?
I don't.
He does.
I don't know those formations and things like y'all do. I don't know what you call that stuff. I just know the basic fundamentals of it. They've changed a lot of the rules since I played or since I was around the game, so.
Let's go around the horn one more time. Some district goings on this coming week. On Tuesday, the LHS choir is going to be having their fall concert, and that's going to happen at the LISD Auditorium. That's going to be a 7 p.m. start. That's going to be free to the public, and I know Miss Christy Bean and company would love to have you guys out there. She does a wonderful job. And then later on in the week, the Thursday lineup, it seems like, in the morning at the Liberty City Park, the 21-4A District Cross Country Championships are going to be held. Your Liberty Panthers and Lady Panthers looking to head back to regionals again after making it last year. Junior cross-country runner Patrick Flowers looking to make it back to regionals as he's trying to go back to state for the second year in a row. And then we have later on that day at the Liberty High School, there's going to be a open house for parents, and they're going to be talking about the FAFSA, which is the financial aid for colleges. And then they're also going to have some colleges on hand. That's going to happen at 5:30 p.m. and as well as some other things that relate to going to college. And then the next day on Friday, I got to think all of my days, the Liberty, hello Ross, the theater department, you know, you'd think I would know that since I'm the theater director. The theater department is going to have their first productions of the year, fall productions. Liberty Middle School going to be going on stage at 6 p.m., and that's going to be followed by the Liberty High School. Both of those productions are going to be performed by the one-act play cast, the competition crew. Those kids have been acting for me, with me, around me, adjacent to me for a number of years. Super excited. Senior Kennedy Mumphrey going to be leading the cast for the high school. Really excited about her to get that opportunity. And this is going to be a fundraiser for the theater department. $5 at the door will get you a seat for both the shows, or you can go to one, or, you know, whatever your pleasure is. And we always love donations whenever you can do that. Any kind of donation helps the theater department to buy equipment. It helps us to go to clinics. It helps us to do a whole bunch of fun stuff. And, again, get the kids some experience doing some things. Last week we were able to take the theater, a select few middle school kids, took them to Techland down in Houston, and they were able to get some hands-on training with a group that runs most of the big programs, the Alley Theater and the Opera, and they supply a lot of their lights and equipment, costuming, and things like that. So a big shout-out to Techland for having us there. And those kids just had a blast, Ross. I mean, they came in there, and you could have heard a pin drop. And another middle school kid, so there was a time bomb on them as far as paying attention. But, you know, they did very, very well. And, again, that's going to be on Friday. A lot of fun stuff going on this week. One more time, Liberty is heading into a bye this week. And I'm going to think that probably a much-needed bye, back-to-back losses, a close one really to Silsbee last week. And even though it was 20-7, that was not an out-of-hand game. That was still a very winnable game. And then this one seemed to get away from them early. They crawled back in it. It looked like they were going to do it. But, man, that combination of those fullbacks just –
I'm telling you.
That Dishler and who's the other?
Ashworth.
Ashworth. Oh, my
Hunter
gosh.
Ashworth.
It one or the other. And not only were they good at carrying the ball, they had some speed, they had some size. But, man, they just made some great moves. Those are a couple of young men that I'm guessing are going to be maybe playing at the next level.
You don't see fullbacks hurdle players very often.
Yeah, you really don't.
I'm telling you.
And coming into this game, we'd been tipped and watching some of it on video that these guys were going to really feature that fullback. And it was just that 1-2 punch.
It's like the old Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Mike Allstott. They had some great footage of him when he was training. He would put the rig on, and he would drag buses and drag all kind of stuff through the sand. I mean, this guy was a man-child, and these young men that Orangefield had are kind of in that same vein.
Bad part about it, or bad part for Liberty about it, Dishler's a junior. So he's going to mature another year, probably get put on another 15 or 20 pounds, be just as fast or maybe faster next year as a senior. And if they don't, of course, you know, we looked at their roster over here, and they are pretty junior and senior heavy. But if they can keep any semblance of their offensive line together with that young man in the backfield, they're going to be a force next year as well.
All right, so we're not just hanging on to hang on. You're watching Liberty Panther Sports Network, waiting on Coach Taylor most every time he wants to come up here, but this is kind of a haul. And
I saw him walking towards this direction.
Okay, normally he's able to get up here pretty fast, so we're just hanging on for Coach Taylor. As soon as he gets here, we'll give him a look-see and let him say what he's going to say. You know, he's always fun to interview. Sometimes he's more fun to interview after a loss because his
he will lay it on the line.
his filter becomes a little less unfiltered.
Well, it's refreshing. You know, he doesn't have the coach speak. He tells it like it is.
Right.
And sometimes it's not as
coach speak.
That's as flowery as you might expect or even want. But, you know, that's the sign of somebody who really can spot what the problems are.
Oh, there he comes. He's coming up the stairs now.
Make the adjustment. Yeah, you don't want to get stuck in the elevator.
No, that's don't even say that. Knock on wood, Ross.
I used it tonight and I was okay, but
it was very
Neil,
good.
Are you feeling okay?
Okay, Here comes. I'm gonna turn it over to you, Ross. I'm gonna let Coach Taylor have it since I really was just filming tonight.
No, if you stay on, I'll give you my headset. You stay on.
Okay. All right, just kidding. Neil's gonna hand over his headset. All right. Kind of got a quiet little crowd here. Coach Taylor, welcome to the post-game show. You are the finale for us this evening. 11-4A action started off with roses against Hardin Jefferson, put a beating on them, and then the last 2 weeks have been a little different story.
Yeah, I mean, that's just what happens whenever, you know, you play somebody that's breathing hard walking up the stairs. Now.
That's a long walk.
And I didn't want to get in that elevator because you got stuck last time.
Well, Mr. George, if you're listening to this, we need to get a Stairmaster for for Coach Taylor.
Yeah. No, I mean, you know, at the end of the day, I mean, Hardin Jefferson was not, you know, was not, you know, that good of a football team at the time, and we played two guys that are, you know, that Orangefield just beat Silsbee, you know, a couple weeks back, so. I played those guys about 8 times. That's the best one. That's the best Orangefield team I've faced since I've been here.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that, Coach. Dishler and Ashworth, the real deal at fullback.
Well, I mean, there's no doubt about that. I mean, we knew what we was up against all week long. I thought we practiced hard. I thought our guys gave them a really good look, scout team wise. I mean, you can't simulate that. You know.
No doubt.
You can't simulate the speed of it. But, you know, I mean, this has been his group. You know, I mean, we've known since they were in middle school that this was his group. This was going to be the season. He thought he had a really good team, and he does. And
you're referring to Coach Smalley in Orangefield.
Coach Smalley at Orangefield. He's a good friend of mine, and you know, we don't ever like playing each other, but it's just inevitable. And I mean, like I told him after the game, I mean, that was just a good old punch in the face right there.
Coach, you're heading into a bye week, much needed bye week, I would assume, for you. What are your plans besides getting rest and getting some guys that have some nicks and some dings healed up a little bit? What are the plans for West Orange Star coming out of the bye week?
Oh yeah, we got to talk about those guys already.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that to you, Coach.
No, I mean it's inevitable. It's going to happen. You know, I mean, you're right. We need. We got a lot of bumps and bruises, man. And I tell you what, we need some rest, but we're gonna go ahead and, you know, and get some film, hopefully on West Orange, and try to go ahead and start putting something together this week that we could have a couple of days of practice. I mean, it won't be full-fledged like we would in a normal week, but I mean, we'll go play those guys as hard as we possibly can, and you know, I mean, I felt like I felt like our guys were still fighting. I mean, we just, you know, when you face some guys like that, I mean, you just get outmatched, and you know, they're a good football team, and we just got beat. You know, we just got to hand it to us.
All right, Coach, you did not have the West Orange Star game circled on the calendar, I would assume. But the next 2 games, Bridge City and then Hampshire Finette, you never want to look ahead, but those 2 games now probably becoming some must-win games for you.
Absolutely. I mean, we came into this week saying that, you know, this was a game that, you know, we felt like we needed to get. to give ourselves the best chance of making it to the playoffs. We still have a chance. It just gets a little bit tougher from here on out. And I just told him a while ago that now I'm just want to see what kind of man you really are. The next couple of weeks are going to let me know, exactly what type of guy you're going to be 10, 15 years from now. You signed up for this. This is where we're at. And, I want to see you work from this point forward. Nobody else is going to – we're not going to stop coaching. We're not going to stop preparing, so this one kind of stings a little bit, but we're going to move forward.
Maybe some help tonight. It seems as though Hardin Jefferson was beating Bridge City, if I heard that correctly. If that is the scenario, that's a good scenario for you. And then if you can take care of business against Bridge City, probably the finale against Hampshire Finette will determine maybe that fourth playoff spot.
It could. And that's kind of how there's some other things that got to work itself out, but you're right. Us having beaten Hardin Jefferson, so we would always have the tiebreaker against those guys because of head-to-head. So, yes, if those guys did go off and beat Bridge City, I haven't paid attention to it, then it could work out to where it comes down to, us beating Bridge City and then having to go on the road and play, in my opinion, a really good Hampshire Finette team just to give ourselves a chance to get in the playoffs.
All right, Coach, never want to downplay a loss or upplay a victory, but if you had to pick somebody that really stood out for you tonight against Orangefield, who would that be?
I really think Jolin Curtis, he ran hard. We had some hiccups early on, but he still to keep working as hard as he was to get 2 to 3 yards. Those guys, they didn't really necessarily do anything that we didn't prepare for, other than you can't match the speed of their defense or the strength of their defensive line in practice. So, they got in there and they were able to kind of push us around a little bit. Babineau, number 9, is one of the better linebackers that you're going to see in our district, if not in the Golden Triangle area. We came in this week always talking about, hey, we've got to know where 9 is. Somebody has to get to 9. And he made some plays on us early on that we just didn't get to him, So, no, I think Jolin Curtis played well. I was proud of Kobe's effort, basically playing nose guard with one hand and going up against Kobe Coulter, I think's his name, the center, who's been starting for a long time and it's probably one of the better offensive linemen in our district. I thought Kobe played well, but I definitely saw some wind get out of our sail after that very first play that went 60, 70 yards. Whatever. I was talking to an offensive lineman and turned around and saw that, but we knew coming into it. You asked me on Monday what I thought. I said you're going to see a bunch of 32 and a bunch of 40.
You were correct.
And I didn't lie to you.
You did not lie.
Those guys have been around a long time. I'm glad Ashworth is a senior. I'm going to go to his graduation to make sure he gets that diploma. So,
all right, Coach, thank you so much for joining us on the post-game show. You're watching Panthersports.com. I'm Joe Roberts with Ross Norwood, Neil Thornton, producer Richard Ewing. There he is right there. Don't forget to tune in to LHS Live on Wednesday at 9:30, and then we'll see you on Panthersports.com in 2 weeks at West Orange Stark. 7:30 p.m. kickoff. We'll go live at 7:15. We'll see you next time.